So I'm really pleased to be here today in person. I want you to know I'm usually on Zoom because I start work in Amherstburg at 8:30 in the morning, but I am making an exception today because you are here. Queen Amina Eghujovbo is an actress, public relations expert, and humanitarian who gets things done. She founded the Windsor International Black Film Festival and the Windsor International Diaspora African Festival, WIDAFest, to celebrate African culture and foster global unity. As president of Vigor Awards International, she has established food banks and skills training centers worldwide, tackling poverty and unemployment. Her advocacy led to the creation of Canada's first African Community Center, providing job training, mentorship, and cultural integration programs and championing social causes like mental health and education. Her awards and recognitions have included an honorary doctorate in philosophy and humanitarian advocacy. Queen Amina is an active member of the Rotary Club of Windsor Wide. Please welcome Queen Amina.
Good morning again, and thank you so much, Sister Irene. She's my educational mentor. She's helped me to return back to school at a very old age, and I graduated. Thank you. Forever grateful to you, Sister Irene. And good morning. I learned something this morning that you can always smile, and it's an easy thing to smile. What I saw in this room this morning makes me more happy to be a Rotarian. And I want to bring this back to my club to say people should visit other Rotary clubs, because everything that went on this morning is my first time of experiencing, and it's beautiful. So we have a different culture, and you guys have a different culture. And I would advise that every once in a while we should visit other Rotary Club to adopt the culture from there and teach other people. So I'm very happy to be in your midst this morning. Pardon my voice, I've been working late hours and all around the clock for the festivals that are coming up. I would not be projecting this. I was told to email it, but I didn't remember. So. WIDAFest, I'm going to be talking to you guys this morning about a cultural festival that, according to Sister Irene, my profile read, I started this 2 years ago. And the reason why I thought it was important for a community, a diverse community like this, is when I first came to Windsor 7 years ago, every time we sit down at a place where people don't look like me, the first question is, where do you come from? And I say to them, I'm from Canada. And they're like, no, like, where do you really come from? I said, I really come from Canada. And then, okay, I mean, where is your place of birth? So I said, okay, I was born in Africa. Then the next question is, where in Africa? So I said, Nigeria. Where in Nigeria? And the question keep drilling down. So in my head, I started thinking, what if you bring Africa to Windsor, so that a lot of people that may never have the opportunity to visit Africa might have one day a year to experience Africa. That's why the Festival came around. And through my research, before the organization was founded in 2021, I found out that in Windsor, many years ago, over 40 years ago, there was a gentleman called Walter Perry that was lighting up the streets of Windsor for Emancipation Parade. And through that cultural display, he was able to bring a lot of visitors into Canada and Windsor. Windsor is tucked away in a beautiful place with little pockets of amazing history that is hidden away from the world. And when I started looking at things, once in a while we visit places, I found out that how about people, instead of saying when you get to Canada, go visit Niagara Falls, Banff, which I lived like just a few minutes away from for many years. those beautiful places, how about somebody who say, come to Windsor to visit Windsor once a year? So my goal, which is a big, huge dream, is to bring back Windsor on the map through a cultural festival like this, that people would plan to come and visit. And we started small, but we are growing. So 2021, the Windsor International Diaspora Festival was founded. Like a joke, we set up about 58 vendor booths, and 1 minute after we set up all the tents and people were ready to start the festival, a huge cyclone came and wiped everything that was able to be wiped away, was wiped away. And it was like something you see in the movies. I left the place after setting up just to go pick up the first lady of Gambia that visited from Gambia. And I came back and it was a whole different. Where I was, there was no rain. It was sunny, it was bright, it was happy, it was beautiful. And I drove just few minutes down the road and it was a disaster. And people lost so many things. We lost the tent, all the tent from Festival Plaza, the festival tent rental, cost us $28,000 to replace that. And our glorious insurance organization said they do not cover natural disaster. And I was standing, I remember standing at the plaza downtown, and I'm like, God, if you sent me, then we are gonna still do this. Everybody, including the government officials that came around. I remember Angelo Marignani coming close to me and said, Queen, just cancel this. This is the reason why we must go on and do. And I picked up the microphone and I told all the vendors, encouraged them. I said, pack the pieces, set up your tent if you can. If you don't have a tent, we'll go buy another one. And we had a massive street parade the next day, and it was successful. We cleaned up and we had a parade. And since then, second year, we decided to give all the vendors a free vending space. Cost us some money, that out of pocket, we, the organizers, and we had the second year last year. But we moved from the plaza to Lansbury Park. In my head, I'm like, the trees will block any cyclone that will come. So that was a safe space for us to be. And the water is far away. So we had a happy time there. It was smaller, but it was happy last year. And this year, for not giving up, and I'm saying this to encourage anybody that is at the edge of giving up on anything that they're doing. You don't give up. Things will put themselves together, would work out. And that has been the experience of WIDAFest. This year, on our own, with no funding, well, we do have some funding from the government, but just little funding, no big, huge advertisement. We got TD Bank with a call, and the call goes, we heard about your festival and we want to be part of it. And that's how we got a little amount of money from them, which is very encouraging. And then Costco called, we heard about your festival, we want to be a vendor there. And I'm like, okay, this is looking good. And that's how few people now started hearing about the festival. So the first year of the festival, like I said, we had a lot of international visitors that joined us, including Kenny Lau, never could pronounce his last name, from the CFL. He visited Windsor to attend the festival. The First Lady of Gambia, in the person of Fatoumata Barbaro, she was here. Then we had the ambassador to Tanzania from Germany, flew in here to attend the festival. We had the oldest drum that exists in the world traveled from Barbados to be staged here. And guess what happened on the way back? We lost the drum. The drum was 145 years old, brought to Windsor by a young woman that plays drums called Yellow Moon. And up till now, we couldn't find the drums because Air Canada lost it. But she's coming back again this year. And so that's where we are as an organization. This year, I'll tell you guys a little bit about our colors. So we have the black color, the green color, the orange, red, and blue. Black colors represent the mystery of the untold stories from Africa that we want to unveil. Green means growth and renewal. Our orange color stands for wealth and status. We believe with rich culture that defines for us wealth. As a family together as Africans shows that we are rich in culture. And then our red is life and energy. Give you a short story about that. When my daughter was 3 years old, I was picking her from the daycare, and as we were walking by a park in Montreal then, she saw a group of black guys talking, and she looked at me and said, bet you those guys are from Africa. And I said, why did you say that? She said, can't you see they're loud? And I said, why do you say that? Say, mommy, you and daddy talk with energy. So red for Africa, we look at it as life and energy because we're always very energetic. And our blue stands for dream and inspiration. And we want to inspire the people of Windsor and around the world with our story through the festival and the cultural display. Where is the festival this year? Again, we're going to be coming back to Lansbury Park. Very excited about that. We're going to be showcasing vendors from different parts of the world. And then I think we have 2 people coming from Kenya. They're bringing a lot of Kenyan beads and Kenyan attires. So we're going to have the street parade, which is on the 16th. And the parade will be staged on Agile and Ottawa Street. And we march all the way to Lansbury Park. The unique thing about our parade is a lot of drumming, a lot of African music, African attire like what I'm wearing with headgears. And this year we're adding a little bit of touch again. We're bringing African masquerades. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So please join us. August 15, 16, 17. I don't have flyers, but I would send it on an email to Sister Irene, and she can help me to post that. I have pictures from last year after the cyclone that I could show to the room. So these are little ones showing their stuff. That's the park where we used the stage, and I want to show you that. So I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if you, so these are the kind of things we wanted to do. Just show you what we wear, why we wear them, and just a little knowledge about African culture without going to Africa. We want to grow into a place where we'll be able to tell stories at the festival. When you go to different country booths, you should be hearing stories about that country. Until we get to that space, more people connect, we would be able to grow into that. And what else? So that's the oldest drum. I wanted to show, it breaks my heart that we lost that drum. That drum is 145. Air Canada. Yeah, we lost it. And there's no amount of money that would pay for that. No amount. Yeah. And yeah, so that's my little presentation with the WIDA Festival. We just want you to come out, ask questions about Africa. A lot of times we're not able to travel, but we want to bring Africa to you. And We have a location at the African Village located on Tecumseh and Victoria in the west side. So stop by. I'm usually there from 11 to 4 p.m. most of the time, Tuesdays to Fridays. And yeah, stop by, ask questions, and give us a call if you can. The website is just simply WIDAFest.com. Have any questions? So last year we had 9, this year we have 12. Yeah. And we hope to grow it. And when you come, you're going to see all the flags of the nations. So come up, join us. Yes. African Village Community Center. Yeah. So most of the information from the festival will be there, like flyers, if you want to ask questions. Yeah. So we just established that about a year and a few months now. The goal of the center is to display African culture there. We don't have any funding yet, so most of the things we are unable to do it. But with time, we want to have like African artifacts there. We want to be able to have exhibitions that people can come in to see. We want to be able to cook African food from there. So like every Friday evening, it's in the works. You can come and taste African food. So when you go to an African restaurant or you ever travel to Africa, you will be able to say, oh, I want to order this because you tried it before. So mostly educating people around us about us. I always tell people that if you take a Mercedes car to Chrysler to fix, it would be a disaster because Chrysler never built Mercedes. So we want you to know us, to our culture, then it will be easier for you to relate to it. Yeah.
Festival, is it on for a weekend or just a day? And the other thing is, San Gloria, is that a separate building, storefront, right on Tecumseh?
So it's 189 Tecumseh Road West, right opposite the big, huge cathedral. Across from that. And it's boldly written, African Village Community Center. So it's a community center where we run activities from there. We have a small space like this that we do rent out to help us raise funds. But the most important thing that we have succeeded in doing is actually bringing all the small African communities, organizations together. So we have our seniors have a space to sit now. We have our children that come there by 2 p.m. on Sundays just to spend some energy, exercising, telling stories. We are starting a program with them this Sunday about African folktale. So we're gonna have seniors come to tell them stories. That's how I grew up. I grew up with every Friday night under the tree, moonlight, no electricity. Seniors tells us stories. So we look forward to going to listen to stories. Yeah, that's how I got to travel because I heard stories of, it's called Ajala travel. So there was a famous young woman that decided she wants to fly around the world. I remember that story as a little girl and telling myself that I like to travel. I want to travel. So when I grew up, I started looking for where to go, like that little girl in the story. So we learned from storytelling back home, and we want to reenact that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks again, Aaron, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait, no, nothing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a tradition here that we always share local honey with our guest speakers. So please enjoy some local honey. Let's step over here for a photo.
Thank you.
It's
so
like
much.
presenting an Oscar, but it's honey.
I learned another new thing today again, and from where I come from, honey represents life. So you guys have given me more life today. Thank you so much.